break away from cats.
Hello, my friends.
So,
Well,
where I found myself the topic of discussion as far as being boring. It could be a bit boring, to be honest with you.
as far as being boring,
I've come to terms with that. I'm actually okay. Am I 4 minutes late? I am 4 minutes late. You're right about that. I should never question. I should never question Rosie. She's my timekeeper. She lets me know exactly when to take my nighttime supplement. Without her, I'd still be awake because I never took my supplement. Good morning, Rosie. Yes, we can do breath work. Hey, Lee. Rosie's laughing. Sissy says, you are not boring. I appreciate that. Well, here's the thing. Here's the funny thing. Hey, big Mr. Tumble. I virtually do the same thing every day. I eat the same thing every day. There's some addition. I've recently taken to putting a tablespoon, small tablespoon, all right, a large tablespoon, okay, a heaping tablespoon. If you can fit, I'd said this to Kat, if you can fit it on a spoon, if you can fit it on a teaspoon, even if it's balancing precariously, it's still a teaspoon, right? It doesn't matter how big your cup or bowl is, it's still a bowl of ice cream. So if you have the world's biggest bowl, you can tell everyone, yeah, I just had a bowl of ice cream. Hi, Anna. Hey, Daniel. Daniel says, how are you today, my good friend? Says that to Seb. Rosie says, I slept at 10 today, woke up at 1 a.m. My sleep time is messed up. It is important to get a sleep schedule. Most people's issues with sleep stem solely from being out of tune with the circadian rhythm. When we align ourselves with the natural flow of wake and sleep, that circadian rhythm, then everything's better. Our immune system's better, our concentration is better, our focus is better. Back to the topic at hand. I am pretty boring. Because again, I do the same thing every day. However, life itself is never boring. So anything I do, for me, feels completely different than what I did yesterday. No single tablespoon. Yes, I've upgraded. I think I said teaspoon earlier. It's a tablespoon. It's a big ass tablespoon of peanut butter. Anyway, and that's an official measurement, by the way. Big ass. You have small, you have medium, you have big, and you have big ass. So if you're ever making a recipe, make sure that you signify. Someone says a big heaping, a heaping or a big tablespoon. Don't confuse this with a big ass tablespoon. Big Al says, I can't believe Soulstar said that about you, Yogi. You know what, Big Al? I appreciate you being there to stand up for me. This is why you're the governor. Big Al took a very unpopular stand. He stood up for me over at Cats, made a declaration, and I saw him say, anyone speaks bad about Yogi, they got to come through me first. Big Al, that was very brave. I appreciate that. Sissy says, that reminds me of someone I know who has a giant stein for a drinking cup. I keep threatening to get a bigger coffee cup because I only drink 1 cup of coffee a day. So I'm starting to think, big ass. Sissy says, okay, Yogi, you have a big ass, big ass heart. Well, thank you for that. Daniel sends us some laughing. Daniel, how are you, my friend? Rosie says, I'm wide awake. You're not boring. Let me ask you a question there, Rosie. Let me ask you a question here. How many people have fallen asleep during one of my live streams? Let me know. Sissy says, I was ahead of the curve and beat you to the chat, Big Al. Jokesters tonight, I tattled. She did tattle. Sissy's always one step ahead of all of us, guys, so you got to be careful. Blue for Tanya, our beautiful friend from New Zealand. Of course. Thank you for that reminder, Kat. So I woke up this morning thinking about intelligence. The intelligence from... It's so funny. Someone who thinks that they have acquired a certain amount of information, a certain amount of knowledge, confuses that with intelligence. And then judges and measures someone else's accumulation of knowledge, of information, as if that is the true measure of intelligence, which of course it isn't. There's no greater intelligence for one person than another, because we are expressions. Let me read what I wrote, if you don't mind, if you guys can indulge me. About intelligence, truly so, and not the accumulation or ability to talk of knowledge and information. In yoga, intelligence is seen to be throughout the body, a universal connection of cells that work in a cohesive function of the whole. This is the entirety of the universe working through us. More importantly, we can see ourselves as an expression of pure divine intelligence. No one possesses this in greater amount than anyone else. If we wish to measure, our emotional intelligence is perhaps even more important than our ability to acquire and share knowledge. Are we able to access states of compassion and empathy and use them in a truly meaningful way? If not, then we are stunted, cut off from a remarkable source of the only intelligence that will ever be able to heal the world. For me, A Course in Miracles has provided a training guide for true intelligence. It awakens the heart and urges me to choose the whisper of love over the shouting of ego, allowing me to access a deep sense of sure intelligence that always steers me towards a peaceful point of mind. My own intelligence is found here, heart-centered in body, yet connected to the voice of God that carries my every answer needed. No one can hear this any clearer than any other, but some listen more intently and point us back towards the source. So, with that in mind, we have some very, very, very intelligent people that gather and hang out 3 times a day. And I appreciate that. I appreciate the deep intelligence that you guys bring to every discussion. And that includes everyone. However, occasionally we have someone who might pop up who can only access the intellect and not intelligence, not true intelligence. And they confuse the two. So what do? If we're truly intelligent, we don't judge back. We help them in whatever way we're able, from moment to moment to moment, to access that true intelligence, to be heart-centered again, to listen to the flow of the universe itself moving through the body, moving through the mind. And it's always, always urging love, the only true intelligence in existence. Good morning, Lucy. Hey, Carl. Big Al says, you're in the UK, Anna? I got 1 shoe to go. And then we'll do some breath work. It also had me thinking about concepts. The last chapter of the Course in Miracles talks about concepts. We've been talking the last couple days, actually all week, about the ego. And I think the easiest way to sum it up is ego is a concept of who we think we are. Ego is concepts of who we believe we are. But no concept is ever true. It's just a concept. And what comes before a concept? Something has to come before a concept, right? That's who we are. We are that which resides before concept is ever presented. So we can use concepts, but we never have to believe that we are conceptual. Let's see, Rosie says, read your above comment. Let me find Rosie, sorry. And it says, I fell asleep just before your evening live stream started yesterday, Yogi. So if it's before my live stream, I don't think that we'll count that in the boring column. Maybe. Rosie says, maybe because your voice is actually very calming, so I don't blame them. That's nice. I've had to deal with my own concepts of my voice. It's one of the reasons why I avoided getting certified specifically for Yoga Nidra. So we're going to do some breath work in a minute for Rosie. Rosie, how are you feeling? The reason I ask, it helps me steer the breath in a particular way. Are you getting ready to go lay down and go to sleep? Then we'll do something different. Freed says it's yogi time. Anna says my eyes needed to relax, Yogi. Understandable. Rosie said, laughing, so stop saying you're boring or I'll come after you. Boy, I don't want that. I just watched your short. Left a comment just a minute ago, Rosie, right before I came on. Sissy says, I will not go away. Face it, and then face the day, pause perhaps, but never will I abandon my soul's mission. I'm glad to hear that. Lee says, Yogi, would you say you have to be in the right mindset to embark on the course? Is a flexible guide to allow us to read, perhaps go away and pick it up again? I've went away and picked it up for 30-some years, Lee. Here's a great line, and I've used it quite a bit, directly from the course, and it says, our tolerance for pain. Let me get the exact course. Let me get the exact thing up. I've been quoting it for weeks. Kat, help me out with this. Our tolerance for pain is high, but it's not without limit. Sooner or later, we all must come to the terms of saying there must be a better way. That's sort of a paraphrase. Our tolerance for pain is high, but it's not without limit. Sooner or later, we all want to say, there's got to be a better way. That's the only prerequisite for A Course in Miracles. So Lee, let me ask you this. Have you reached your tolerance for pain, and do you wish for a better way? Do you want to be more forgiving? Do you want to be kinder? Do you want to be able to choose peace of mind in any moment? Now here's it. You want to be able to love in every instant. Here's the thing. It's a choice. The only choice we truly have. So don't think that you will always be in this place of peace of mind. I'm not always in a great peace of mind, right? But I always have the ability to choose peace of mind. Sometimes it takes me a little while to get there. More often than not, I'm able to choose it a little quicker than I used to. So the only prerequisite for Course in Miracles, or Buddhism, or yoga, or Sufism, or Taoism, is saying, you know what, there has to be a better way. The way I've been choosing now has only brought me chaos. It has only brought me confusion. It has only been hurtful. I'm not at peace. I'm not always or even occasionally loving. But I'd like to be. I'd like to be. The Course says, here's what I love about the Course. It doesn't say it's the only path. It doesn't even say it's the path for everyone. It does say, it does believe, that it is the quickest path. Because sometimes when you get it like that. Big Ass says, apologies, I didn't stay longer. I have to leave for meeting you. That's okay. I saw that you said that over at Cats. Thank you, Praveen. Praveen says, request to all like the live stream, please. I appreciate that, my friend. Rosie says, mixed emotions. I'm a little sleepy, not a lot, and thanks for the comment. I will check it out once we end the live. I will check. I did read what you sent earlier. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what to do though, because for those who know me, I am indeed just a yogi. I could do without the. I could do without the burpees. I'm not always in my basement. Should I shorten it to just a yogi? Hey, Lucy's going live at 6 Central Time. And she's got a long live stream. It's going to be for 6 hours. No one does it like Lucy. And then she's coming up. Imagine that. 6 hour live stream. She'll take a break and recharge. And then she'll come up and pull cards with me for about an hour. Lucy says, or enough is enough. Yes, or enough is enough. So let me ask you that, Lee. Do you think enough is enough for you personally? He says, Anna, I have no patience when I'm in barber chair. All I'm thinking is, can't wait to be done. Imagine how I feel in a barber shop. Everyone's looking at me. They're thinking, I know what they're thinking. What's that guy doing here? It's a good question. What am I doing in a barber shop? "6 a.m. to 12 p.m. open panel Central Time." Speaking of that, hey, do you have, Sissy, do you have a link to drop? So whatever we like. All right, we're going to get started in just a minute. I want to get out and take a walk a bit earlier. I'm going to shoot for 5-ish miles this morning. Hey, Carl. Carl is sick again. My immune system's basically hitting the snooze button. For real, for real. That's what it stands for, right? Well, hey, you know, if you join in the breath work, so we're going to do what we did yesterday. I'm going to give you all an entire 5 minutes worth of breath work. And if it's early for you, it's going to be part of meditation. Thanks, Praveen. I'm trying to offer a commitment. Thank you, Lucy. And thank you, Sissy. You are always welcome. Hey, Rad. Hey, RW. Commitment of 5 minutes of breath work a day, if not more. And by that, I mean 5 minute in one sitting session. I love doing, thanks for liking, Rad. I love the simplicity of 10 breaths. And so much can be accomplished with just 10 conscious breaths. And I do that often, and I do it throughout the day. But a committed sitting and doing 5 minutes of breath work offers so many benefits that is astounding. So do you guys got 5 minutes? Let me know. If not, we'll do something quick. We'll do what I did yesterday. Sissy says yes and ready. All right. Perfect. I don't want the gong to be super loud. For those who are going to participate, we're going to do a 4-6 breath. Hey, Draco. Anna is ready. Hey, Bob. Bob says, oh man, Yogi is awake. Definitely time for bed. Catch you later, bro. See you, Bob. Thanks for coming in. I appreciate it. Hey, Bob, if you're getting ready to lay down, you can do some breath work with us. And it says 4-6. Yes, we're going to breathe in for 4. We're going to exhale for 6. Breathing in for 4, exhaling for 6. I'm going to guide you for the first minute to 2 minutes, And then I'm going to let everyone do it their own. I will be offering a little bit of guidance throughout, but not counting. I'm only going to count for the first 10 breaths or so. And then before we end the live stream, I'm going to read the benefits of 5 minutes of committed daily breath work. So, with our eyes closed, let's start with a sense of relaxation. And we're going to do that by first breathing in through the nose. Take another sip of air in. Take another sip of air in. Sigh through the mouth. Letting everything go. Bring some awareness to the nose. Breathing in through the nose. Breathing out through the nose. So we're going to continue breathing in exclusively through the nose and exhaling exclusively through the nose for the next 5 minutes or so. Notice how that when you breathe in, your belly rises, and as you exhale, your belly falls back. A little bit of attention on the belly. And notice how it's moving in a pattern, much like a wave. How a wave will crest and fall back. The belly rises and the belly falls. And just like the ocean, enter that little tiny snore, that roar of a wave hitting the shore, pulling back. The ocean's breath, that little ha sound, very lightly. It's an invaluable breath called Ujjayi breath, which means victorious breath, but we like to call it the ocean's breath. For 5 minutes, we're going to breathe in for a count of 4. We're going to notice the pause, but not linger there. And then we're going to exhale through the nose for a count of 6. And again, notice the pause without lingering. We're going to begin after I count to 3. So here we go. 1, 2, 3. Breathing in for 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale through the nose for 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. In for 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale for 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. In for 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale for 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. In for 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale for 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. In for 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale for 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. In for 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale for 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. In for 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale for 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. In for 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale for 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. In for 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale for 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. In for 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale for 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Continue breathing on your own. 1, 2, 3, 4. Your count. And exhale for a count of 6. Breathing in for 4. Exhaling for 6. I will guide you throughout without counting. Remember to breathe in through your nose, to breathe out through the nose. Using that ha sound very gently and easily. No one else has to hear it. Very light focus on that breath. As we extend past those 10 breaths, we're accessing a deeper state of calm, a deeper sense of peace. and a greater realization of an ever-present love, restful, aware. Breath is nice and even. Thoughts are falling quiet. Heartbeat is slowing down. Breathing easy. In for 4. Out to 6. Keep breathing. Keep breathing. In for 4. Out for 6. This is our meditation. Every aspect helps. The ocean's breath, the counting, the space between breaths. Keep breathing. Whichever part of the breath you're on, allow it to come to an end, finishing off, breathing in for 6, the final 6, wherever you are, exhaling for that final 6. Surrender the breath and sink into that state of stillness that's ever present. And when you're ready, whenever you're ready, your own time. Maybe wiggle your fingers, move your head a bit. Come back to our regular state. And open your eyes, I'll see you in the chat. Hey Draco, my friend, how are you? So the topic right now, Draco, is just breath. Just breath. Hey, RW, you don't have to, don't delete any messages, please. Appreciate it, though. Hey, Richard. Draco is not happy. To answer the question, this shitty how is this helpful? Because it allows us to access greater sense of awareness in which we can discern what is shitty, what is truly shitty, and what isn't. So I feel like I've done you a great favor to give you that, to give you the ability to see your the difference between the two. For those who are not comfortable with the breath, it surely can be very shitty. Rosie says, thank you, Yogi. I feel very relieved and relaxed. Hey, Tiger King. Let me know, guys. Anna says, thank you much, Yogi. I feel relaxed now. My mind was quite heavy before. What was your experience going past those 10 breaths that we normally do? The extended. Sissy says, also, it rewires your brain to see through your own bullshit. Absolutely true. I read this a couple times yesterday. I'm going to read it again. When we extend our breath work to that 5-minute mark, some magic begins to happen. Stress and anxiety reduction, because it activates the parasympathetic nervous system, lowering the heart rate, blood pressure, and stress hormone like cortisol. Helps manage anxiety symptoms like shallow breathing and racing thoughts. Reducing anxiety, negative mood, while increasing positive mood. Increases positive effects and reduces negative emotions. Promotes emotional regulation and resilience to stressors. This is important because we don't think we have any control whatsoever on our emotional state. When we're agitated, we're agitated. It's not our fault. Someone agitated us. 5 minutes of breath work a day shows us there's no outside of us. Agitation happens within, and we can either be a reactive agent to it, or we can be a responsive awareness to it. It enhances focus and concentration, increasing oxygen flow to the brain. Helps shift brain wave patterns towards those associated with relaxation and learning. Improves focus, better sleep quality, calms the nervous system and lowers stress hormones and heart rate, preparing the body for sleep. It also secular sleep. So it keeps us in the relaxed state so that we will sleep better and for longer, less waking up. Lowers blood pressure, increases heart rate variability, reduces inflammation, improves blood circulation, and a host of other stuff. So indeed, it is pretty shitty if you look at it in that light. All right. Richard says, thanks, Yogi, that was helpful. I'm glad, Richard, I'm glad. Richard says, I feel it brought me into a sense of calmness and relaxation. Rosie says, question says, when are we allowed to curse here? We're always allowed. We can almost do. All I ever ask anyone, be kind to each other. Someone was timed out yesterday because they chose not to be kind to someone that, as you know, is very, very special to our channel. And it says it did the same to me, Richard. So at least once a day, we're going to try to do one extended breathwork session. We'll always return to those 10 breaths because they are perfect as a tool throughout the day. Sometimes we only have time for 10 breaths. Rosie says, oh my God, you're a gangster now? I am a gangster. You saw that. Sissy's going to call me Maurice. She knows why. All right, guys, I got to run out. Rosie says, game over. RW's laughing. Carl says, hell yeah. Rosie says, can I join the group, Yogi? Yes. Yes, yes you can. Gangsters forever, Rosie. I don't think I can make the sound. Gangster of love. Some people call me Maurice. All right, so I'm going to head out. I'm going to take my walk. See what the morning brings me. Let's see. Rosie says, can't forget about your cats. We can't forget about your cats. My cats. One is curled up here underneath my desk. Timeless classic. I'm surprised no one's come up and sang Steve Miller yet. I'm voting for Bob. That's my great hope. Friday, Bob's going to decide to come up to the live stream karaoke and he's going to sing Steve Miller. My guess is he's going to sing Fly Like an Eagle. Two-pack. Listen to Two-pack on your walk. Two-pack and nature, I don't know. Might create too great of a dichotomy between the two. God be omni love to all and to you as well. I will try to get there for your premiere, Sissy. Don't forget Lucy today. Rich is going to make some fresh coffee and some eggs. I had my cup for the day. Sissy says maybe only one song would fit in the orbit. The Joker? I am no longer a midnight toker. In truth, I never waited till midnight anyway. Thank you, Rosie. Yep, I hope something pops up. I had a raccoon pop up the other morning. I couldn't get it filmed. It's still a little dark in the morning when I'm out there. Saying I saw a fox. I saw a raccoon and a fox. I think it was, what's this, Thursday? I think it was Monday. All right, I gotta go. I love you guys. And I'll see everyone, if you're around, like 1 o'clock. Thank you, Richard. Richard says, take care, everyone. Have the most amazing and wonderful day. That's the plan. I hope to. Love you guys.